Hello, and thanks for joining me. I'm Reverend Anna. I'm the Senior Minister of Unity of Austin. I want to share some thoughts with you about trust. This is from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 11, verse 24. Jesus said, "So I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you've received it, and it'll be yours." And here's a quotation from the author and woman filled with faith, who I highly recommend reading her books, Corrie Boom, Boom. She was imprisoned in World War II in a Nazi concentration camp for hiding Jews, keeping them safe. And then, amazingly, she was released from that camp a few days before she would have been gassed herself on a, quote, technical clerical error. She passed away many years ago, but a woman of great faith. So I share this quotation with you from Corrie Boom. She wrote, "When a train goes through a tunnel and it gets dark, you don't throw away the ticket and get off. You sit still and trust the engineer." We've had plenty of opportunities the last few weeks to connect with our ability to trust the engineer. The winter storm here in Texas set off cascading events that quite literally put us in the dark and in the cold to boot, right in our own homes. And that was on top of daily dealing with pandemic health and economic concerns. And that was on top of whatever may be happening in our personal lives. We've been hunkered down. I hope that in the midst of the hunkering, we also felt God's light and warmth. I find that trust is trust. Yet depending on where I am at any given moment on Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs, God's presence will show up differently in my life. When basic human survival needs are in question, God feels a lot like warmth, light, water, and food. Higher up on that ladder, God looks like love, harmonious relationships, and self-worth. And at the pinnacle, God's presence is experienced as creativity, transcendence, and fulfillment of soul. The takeaway is that God is God all the time. God doesn't change. The divine is life itself and is ever present within and around us, supplying what we most need in exactly the right form in any given circumstance. And resource comes whether we realize it or not. It comes more fully, perhaps, when we're consciously open to it, but it still comes. God's law is love and grace, always filling us to overflowing, even when we have no idea that we need it. Trust, pray. You'll be filled even when you aren't so sure good is coming your way. God is gracious. God is love. God is the engineer. Trust. Blessings to you in the love and the light of the living, loving Christ. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.